Hello, my name is MarciaCampbell, and for my commemorative speech, I'd like to talk about how I got started with speaking, the driving force behind my speaking, and lastly, I'd like to express my gratitude to all those who helped shape my speaking journey. So I started speaking when I was around sixth grade. I probably 12 or 13 years old. I expressed the need to want to speak at church, and this was just reading the scriptures of the Bible because in a Catholic church we have first and second readings, and those are typically read by any volunteers that would like to read. So my mother spoke to the priest, and that is what began my speaking journey. Now I never had to prepare my speech. I was strictly reading. However, that did not stop my anxiety because at any given time at church, especially during that time, it could range from 50 to 100 people at the service at any given time. Now, this was the beginning of my speaking journey. So I talked about my speaking background and how I started my first speaking role. However, this all began with my mother, who is also the driving force behind my speaking. She was one that I would describe as my drilled sergeant of speaking. We would practice day and night until church service the following Sunday. We would rehearse so much that I practically memorized the lines of each of the readings that I had to read. Now, my siblings and I hated all the times we had to read going over the same passage over and over again. You would hear stuff like, read louder, project your voice so that people in the back could hear you. You should read so that you are familiar with your readings and keep eye contact with your audience. Read slower. Be sure to pronunciate your words. Pause at commas, stop at periods. Do not read like this is a run on sentence. There are no run on sentences in reading. And then we would hear, please watch the ums and ers, which I still do to this day, but I try to pay attention not to do so many ums and ers. Now, although we hated it, we hated all the practice she had us do, to this day, I think that my siblings and I, we appreciate everything that my mother had done with practicing our speech with us. My brother is an instructor in Chicago. My sister often speaks in where she's employed at in research, and I still do my readings. I typically sometimes do orientations, and I have to put things together and talk to students, and it could be 100 students at a time. Now, I also like to thank the professor of this course. I'm going to call you Professor Connie because I do not want to butcher your last name. But I appreciate everything that you've done with with the speaking course, because I don't think that there is a time that you can not go back to school and relearn this or familiarize yourself with speaking, because we all do it, and I do it throughout my career at U of M Flint. But it has helped me even now to go back and look at different uh, courses that I actually not teach, but I'm involved with a little bit, and going back with orientation and redeveloping that so that I can make sure too that what I'm saying is getting across to the students, making sure that I'm introducing things at the beginning of the speech, and then at the end of the speech I'm re-saying the same thing, so if they didn't catch it the first time, hopefully they'll catch it at the end of the speech. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed the class.